Meanwhile, you're always about women's business. Always talking about the sisters. Always talking to the sisters. They've got mahrams. They've got walis. They've got their guardians. And it isn't you. I mean, I hate to use their terminology, but this is about the most beta thing you can possibly do. Always in the women's section. And the irony is that these are the same ones who are endlessly droning on and on about masculinity. Meanwhile, you can't do the basic thing, the most basic thing that men do as men, which is to ignore women. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean that in an obnoxious way, but women have their world, their sphere, and men have their world and their sphere. But meanwhile, you're always trying to weasel your way into the sphere of women, under the guise of nasiha, under the guise of advice. But you're just like a peeping Tom who's trying to justify why he's doing what he's doing by saying that you're just trying to check up on the sisters to make sure that they're safe. No, it's not your business. The men are over here, brother. Meanwhile, you keep sliding your way back to where the sisters are. And this is very disrespectful. It's very insulting to their walis. I mean, let's take this offline, Let me catch you on the street talking to my wife or talking to my sisters about how they shouldn't go out, or they shouldn't go to the gym, or they shouldn't go to school, or you don't like the way they're dressed, or what have you. I wish you would. You better hope that red pill you took is a painkiller, because you're going to be dancing cheek to cheek with the concrete here.
Get your life, baby. I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, baby. I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life.
Focus there.
Watch them cause they after me like a pot of gold. I'm not for play, ask Keisha if you don't know. I'm a little bit cray-cray, approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, why the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, baby. I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Baby, I got my why you could serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life,
You don't understand. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, your right time DJ here with another episode of the Chop Shop. Let me slide on over here. Give me a 1 or 2 if you folks can hear me down in the lounge. Hey there, Shar. How you doing? How you doing? Great to see you. Got a few guests coming up here in a little while. There we go. Got that 1 or 2. Y'all see what's on the screen? We're gonna talk about the big, beautiful, the big ugly budget that plans to add 2.4 trillion dollars to the deficit in the next 10 years. But you got content creators, you got Republicans saying that this is a good bill, although they're slashing all kinds of safety net programs, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, just slashing them all, telling folks that they're not. A bunch of incompetent folks sitting on Donald Trump's, I want to call it administration, but it's really not. It's a wrecking ball with different faces on it. Elon Musk, we're going to talk about him and this bromance with Trump regime. Also, folks, I don't know if you know it, but the beginning of martial law started in Los Angeles this Saturday. If you don't believe me, I didn't bring any clips. Well, all you got to do is turn on your local news right now and see for yourself. But I'm going to show you what led up to it, courtesy of some of the young ladies that I happen to follow on these YouTube streets. And I noticed that, folks. We'll go ahead and start with this right about now. I noticed that when I'm looking around the YouTube streets as we know it, and I look at the female content creators versus the male content creators, I dare anyone to click on your YouTube stream and start looking at some of the content creators that we know, male versus female, and see who's talking about what. The male content creators are talking about cooking with Kaya, talking about who is in whose bedroom, who is doing what to who. There's 40, 50, 60-year-old men talking about a 22, 23-year-old woman. That's what they're doing on this Sunday. You understand me? Instead of talking about national events, instead of things that's going on, these grown-ass men are running around talking about other women when there's not even other women talking about these women. Some folks get mad at you when you come up on their panels and show them up a little bit. Some folks say they don't take nothing personal. I ain't going to call your name. Came to your panel a couple times, spoke to you. You act like you didn't see me. Do the letter O mean anything to you? Fuck off. If you can't take the heat, don't invite me to the kitchen, because I'm going to bring the pain. I'm going to bring the pain. You know who I'm talking to? You know who I'm talking about? I'm going to bring it. Got mad? Don't want to speak no more. That's child's play. That's why I told you in that last stream. That is child's play. I thought I was dealing with a bunch of children, minus the women folk. I thought I was dealing with a bunch of children. But anyway, folks, we'll get past that. And let's get to our first little clip here. Let me see what I want to bring up first. Do we want to talk about Donald Trump's? No, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and talk about the big, beautiful bill first. I was trying to hang out and wait around for my man Dreadhead said to pop in. But as soon as he does, I'll introduce him and he'll come on in. But let me pull up this here. Let me move this off the screen. And for all you folks that's interested, coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure you check me out on Classic R&B Jams Radio, the actual radio. We'll be doing a little summer concert series featuring Denise Gray. I have an interview with her. Then right after that, we'll play some music from the decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and of course, some great music from today. But right now, they're talking about the big, beautiful bill. And I don't know if you folks know who Rand Paul is, but if Rand Paul says this bill stinks, it must stink. Rand Paul is a staunch Republican from Kentucky. But y'all check this out.
Desk and signed on July the 4th, or by July the 4th. In a separate Post, Trump said there's a false narrative about spending in this bill. He said it is, quote, single biggest spending cut in history by far. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul joins me now. Mr. Senator, I know you want more spending cuts included in the bill. Can you tell us what specifically you'd want to cut?
Yeah, it's even more than that. The biggest objection I have to the bill is adding $5 trillion to the debt ceiling. I'm actually very supportive.
That's just in this budget cycle, folks. This big, beautiful bill plans to put that much into overspending. We don't have that yet. That's what we want to borrow. But yet, this says there won't be any recession. What Rand Paul's explaining right now is we are on the road to recession.
Of the tax cuts, I don't accept the CBO notion that the tax cuts will lead to deficits. The reason I believe there'll be more deficits is they're raising the debt ceiling $5 trillion. We know that this year, most of the Republicans, not me, voted to continue the Biden spending levels in March. So we're going to go through September of this year, and the deficit for this year is going to be over $2 trillion. If you're borrowing $5 trillion, that makes me think you're going to add over $2 trillion, maybe $2.8 trillion next year. So it doesn't show me that you've turned around. If you look at the spending cuts, it's complicated because it's at $1.5 trillion. It sounds like this enormous number, but it's over 10 years, so it's $150 billion a year. They're also increasing spending for the military and for the border, $300 billion. That's actually more than all the DOGE cuts that we've had so far. So something doesn't.
And I thought that's what DOGE was supposed to do. All right, there. Welcome to the show, there. How you doing there, Dreadhead said? How you living, good brother? Welcome in. Welcome in. Say it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. There you are.
Okay.
Hi, brother. Welcome in. Well, I don't want to guess at what you think about this big beautiful bill or this big ugly bill. So we'll get straight to it. Sid. What do you think this big beautiful bill is going to do?
You mean this big disastrous bill that they're trying to pass?
Yeah, this big disastrous bill that
I don't think it's going to make it past the Senate.
I don't think so either.
I think the Senate got a lot more sense than the House. Hey, Char. I think they got a lot more sense than the House because they know that if this bill passes, they know the Republican Party is going to be dead in the water for years.
And with the midterms coming up in 2026, a lot of those folks won't have jobs, will they?
Oh, no. There's going to be a lot of angry white people.
And it already is. See, it's already a lot of angry white people. And I think that's the main reason why Rand Paul is speaking up. Because, let's face it, a lot of white folks live in Kentucky. Those are his constituents. This big, beautiful bill will affect the majority of Rand Paul's constituents because, let's face it, they're in a red state, and Kentucky is not that high on education, not that high on medium income, and they're skirting the poverty level not by a whole lot. Am I wrong?
Oh, no. I lived in Kentucky. I lived in Lexington, Kentucky for a little while. And actually, I went to UK for a couple years. So, yeah, I've been there. I've seen it. And, yeah, he's not going to vote for this. I can tell you that. The fact that he's speaking out. But, you know, his father was like the same way. And his father was a budget hawk. I can't remember his name. Was it Rand Paul?
Yeah, I can't think of his pop's name either. But he's one of those legacy. What do you call him? Not Republican. Yeah, he's one of those legacy Republicans.
Yeah, he was a Reagan Republican. Matter of fact.
Yeah. He's been Rand Paul, folks, has been around for quite some time. Again, a lot of things that I've heard from Rand Paul, I staunchly disagree with. But in this case, I'm right with you, Rand Paul. This bill is disastrous. I'm right with you said. This bill is a disaster for seniors and folks with disabilities. Agree?
Yeah, and the killing part about it is that it's going to really affect red states more than blue states because the majority of the income come from blue states for these red states to fund these programs.
Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely it does. And folks, you don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take Sed's word for it. You can go look up these numbers for yourself. Let's continue here.
really add up here. And I can't be on record as being one who supports increasing the debt by $5 trillion. I think that's irresponsible. The bond markets are already starting to show that they're skittish over this. Yeah. We got interest rates of over 5% on the 10-year bond. There are real problems we face as a country, and we can't just blithely go on the way we have in the past.
Would you offer any kind of compromise? You don't want to raise the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Would you okay it for an extra $2 trillion or $3 trillion? I mean,
I have offered a compromise, and the compromise I offered was in the form of an amendment recently, and I'd give them 3 months. And everybody says, oh, it's not long enough. Well, the whole purpose is to make them come back in 3 months and say, what have you done for the spending? Show me where you've cut spending. Because in 3 months' time, we'll be rolling up on the deadline, and they'll be presenting more spending again. So in 3 months, and 3 months is a lot of money, Stuart. It's $500 billion for 3 months. I do it for 3 months. I wouldn't default. I'd do it for 3 months, and I'd say, show me now what you have done. Because the history of this town is people making false promises. In fact, everybody in leadership on the Republican side is saying, oh, wait till after the...
Now, this is coming from a staunch Republican, folks, and he's just said the history of this town, meaning the legislature, the House and the Senate, and of course the presidency. This has been the history of them. They tell you things that they're going to do, but once they get elected, they don't do. Say it.
Yeah, and I'm with him on this. This is going to totally wreck the country, and life as we know it will not be the same if they pass this bill. And it's going to be a lot of well-off people that's going to need them food stamps.
Okay, and they won't be able to qualify for them because some of the additives into this big ugly bill that Trump is touting. He's trying to say that it's gonna eliminate. Remember, said when he said that there will be no tax on overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lie. It's going to tax overtime.
No, it wasn't a lie. It's not going to be a tax on overtime because it's not going to be any overtime to get. He wasn't lying.
If you look at it like that, you're absolutely right. Remember, he said he wasn't going to tax Social Security. That's part. All of this is part of that bill.
Oh yeah, because there's not going to be no Social Security to get. I mean, if you're not getting it, you can't get taxed on it, right?
Okay. All right. Let's continue.
26 elections. We just need one more election. You remember when they said that about Obamacare? Elected Obamacare, and they flailed away and never did it. It's the same way with spending cuts. They say wait till 2026 or 2027 and we'll have spending cuts. I'm not waiting, and I'm not voting for $5 trillion in debt to see if they will keep their promises.
How much support do you have in the Senate? Can you muster 3, 4, 5, 6 votes for your position?
I think there are 4 people who are skittish about the spending levels. Some of them are skittish about the $5 trillion.
If he says 4, that means there's about 8, 9, or 10. What's up there, Black Hawk? How you living, good brother? What you think about that, Sid? I think a lot of those folks in the Senate are not going to speak up because they're afraid of the retribution that Donald Trump might throw at them, because he's already thrown Rand Paul under the bus.
You know what I believe, and I believe this in his first term as well. I believe that when Trump colluded with Russia, he found out a lot of dirt on these people.
Yeah.
He found a lot of dirt on these people that they don't want to come out.
He said when Trump colluded with Russia, or could it have been from the Epstein files that he found a whole lot of dirt on?
But I mean, think about it like this. Going back to his first term, he invited Russia to find those emails that Hillary Clinton put out.
He sure did, in public. Russia, if you're listening, come on in. Ain't nobody gonna be home. Hey, what's up there, Hassan? How you doing, good brother? Ain't nobody gonna be home.
What make you think that he didn't get dirt on them? Like Russia didn't get all their emails too? Because, in order to take over the party, any party or any organization, you have to know more than they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think in this case, he knows a lot, because I have never seen, and I'm gonna be real, okay? I've never seen so much ass kissing, ball licking,
what,
D sucking,
what,
to one person ever in the history of politics in the United States.
Listen, Trump balls ought to be sore by now from the amount of people that be juggling them back and forth, passing them around. I don't get it, said. I mean, of course, I don't wish death on anyone, but we're all gonna die sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
Trump is closer to death than a whole lot of these folks that's
Ooh, hey, you leading to another subject, brother?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm gonna let you bring it in, but you know what? Somebody very high up just said that not too long ago, like the other day.
Damn. I'm gonna use my as another content creator. What's the brother's name? He said, "Let me get out of that. What's his name, Shar? That content creator that we watch." And I said, "Let me get out of that. I'm gonna get on up out of that. let me back up out that. Let's move on."
All right.
I think I'm the most vocal on all fronts, but there are more starting to come to this realization. I think looking at the 10-year and looking at the bond sales being anemic, people not really wanting to buy the government debt, the ratio of purchase to buy orders, bid to buy orders has gone down. So I do think that there is some alarm growing. I think what the real thing's going to happen, and we won't know this, I think, before the bill comes due, but second quarter growth. If second quarter growth is weak, I think there's going to be a generalized freak out about these tariffs and a generalized freak out about not doing anything about spending or debt.
What would happen if your measure is accepted and you give them 3 months worth of debt raising, and you come to the end of the 3 months and you still don't have an agreement on how much more spending to cut? Do we run out of money? Do we shut the government down again? Does that happen?
No, you end up having another discussion over how long you're going to extend the debt ceiling for. And it's funny, people think I won't vote to raise the debt ceiling. I already introduced an amendment to increase it $500 billion. My penny plan, which balances in 5 years, borrows in 5 years. So I'm willing to borrow money as long as you're willing to change your habits.
And this is why I wanted to use Rand Paul, folks. He's not against raising the debt ceiling. He's talking about some of the things in this beautiful bill. Okay? He's not against Trump. He's really not against raising the debt ceiling. He's just against some of the things in it. He don't want to say them out loud. But you heard him clearly say, yeah, I don't mind raising the debt ceiling. I talked about $500 billion. Say it.
Well, the one thing that a lot of people don't understand is that the economy really moves on debt. It takes debt to make the economy work. Because if you don't owe anything, no money is flowing around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And that's in the private sector as well as the public sector.
Public sector,
if you don't,
banking, all that.
Yeah, because if you go to, say, if you have a business and you want to go borrow money from the bank, they want to see where your money going. You know, what's it called? Your incoming and outgoing. What you're paying bills on, who you owe. Are you good at paying your bills off? If you don't owe nobody, and how can they measure it?
Yeah, money stop moving once the debt is paid, and that's why the debt would never be down to zero. That's why this debt fight is redundant, because as long as prices keep going up, you have to raise the debt. You have to, because if everything goes up, you can't have everything go up and have the debt stay the same. It's just not going to work.
You're absolutely right. The main thing to me said is none of what we're going through right now, we should have to. This is all this was manufactured by Trump. Everything that we're talking about right now, this debt ceiling, all this was manufactured by Trump. Not to say that the Biden administration was the best in the world, but they handed the football to Trump on what the 10, 15-yard line.
Yeah, it was solid ground when Biden handed over the economy to him.
Right, first and
like
10
it was solid ground when Obama handed over the economy to him.
Absolutely, and you see both times when Trump got in office, he wrecked it.
But he's not the only one. See,
no.
The old saying is that the Republicans come in and fuck up the whole economy, and then the Democrats have to come in and fix it.
And fix it. Excellent. Absolutely.
And they convince people to really believe that Republicans are good on finances, and that's not true.
All they got to go do is, not since Donald Trump says he's the leader of the Republican Party, all they got to do is go look at Donald Trump's record. He is not, for some reason or other, folks think Donald Trump is a good businessman, but he is not.
Bankruptcies.
He talks a good game, but in all actualities, everything about Trump at one time or the other has collapsed. Everything. He's either been sued.
How do you collapse a casino?
I don't know.
One of the most money-making proof money makers in existence, and you bankrupt a casino? How do you do that?
Bankrupt it? I don't know. What's up there, HT Ball One? How you doing? Let me go back to this comment right here. I wanted to talk about this. And I'm trying to display also black when I saw this, that the Supreme Court allowed Doge to pretty much just wrap it into Social Security Department. You know what it means? Every one of us right now, hear me, you can't see me, you can't see me. You doing just wait the amount of scams that's going to come out here. I think I might have went out for a minute. Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I think I just thought that I was Borgen. So you folks can hear me now?
No.
All right. All right. So folks, my apologies, but you live by the sword, you die by the sword. This is called the internet. Let's continue.
Show that you're willing to have spending reform, but they have to have it. But in the past, what has happened when they have it reformed, the Democrats all vote for it and the Republicans. In fact, this will be the first time conservative Republicans have actually voted for a debt ceiling, and it'll be the largest increase in our debt ceiling in our history. And I think it's a mistake because once conservative Republicans vote this, there is no opposition. They will own it. The debt will be owned by the Republicans. It's no more pointing fingers at the Democrats and saying, oh, they're the big spenders. It'll be all on Republican shoulders. And I'm not going to be one of the Republicans who's going to be responsible for this debt. I'm going to continue to be a voice saying we need to cut spending.
Senator Rand Paul, thanks so much for being with us.
So that you heard that, folks. The Republicans can't say that if this bill passes, well, it was the Democrats' fault. That's 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. Because what this bill will do, it will effectively send us straight into a recession. And sometimes it's hard to get out of recession, especially when you don't have the money to. So with all these social programs that they're cutting, I heard some dummy say that because social means socialism. No, it don't. But say it.
That's something that I wanted to touch up on too. And
sure.
What I want to say is on that subject, that's why a lot of those Cubans and those Venezuelans and some of them other Hispanic groups, they voted for Trump because they call all those programs that they benefited from. Now, keep in mind, they benefited from these programs. Socialism. Thinking that socialism here meant what it meant back in their own country. Socialism in their own country was totally different. And as soon as they started saying socialism, that's what got a lot of those Hispanics to vote for Trump, because especially the Cubans and the Venezuelans, because they look at socialism totally different than what we do. And what they've experiencing back home is not what we're doing over here. It's like our socialism is to help people.
Right.
Their socialism is to keep everybody in line. It's a big difference.
And there is socialism. Those programs here don't mean socialism like they mean it over there, like they mean in China or a few other places. Okay,
right. It's not the same thing.
It's not the same. And speaking of that, said I was going to hold on to this, but since you brought it up, let's jump over to LA for a minute. with all the immigration and the ICE raids going on, all over the country. But the folks in LA decided to say that it was enough. But let me tell y'all, no disrespect to the Latinos, but y'all asked for this. Trump literally told you that he was going to deport you. He told you,
and it was going to be bloody. He wasn't lying.
He was not lying.
He was not lying.
And the thing about it is, right, folks thought that he was going to be deporting illegal aliens and illegal migrants. Them folks don't register. Where are the ICE people going to, folks? They're going to jobs. They're going to grocery stores. Why? Because when those folks come, they're going to the schools. Why? Because when these folks come across that border, they have to sign this paper to say that they're seeking asylum. Are they telling them where they're at? Their address? How you think these folks are just randomly showing up at your house? You think they're just randomly showing up at businesses, randomly showing up at schools? No, you told them where you were going to be. When you came over to this country to seek political asylum for whatever reason, when you signed that piece of paper, they now know where you're at. If I don't tell you where I'm at, can you find me? I'm in South Carolina. Good luck finding me. Said if I told you I'm in Adak, Alaska, could you find me?
No.
So how is these ICE raids able to be so? They're on point. They're jumping out bushes. They're showing up at somebody's job.
They're not only doing that; they're showing up at immigration hearings,
in courthouses.
In courthouses, they outside waiting for these judges to throw them cases out, and they arresting the people as soon as they come out their courtroom. That's what kicked off a lot of the LA riots. Like some of the LA riots, it was a guy from the Dominican Republic that went to court, and they threw his case out. And they was waiting for him.
Absolutely. And just like I think a couple last weekend, graduation, they went to a high school and they arrested a 17-year-old kid. They just brought back what's the Garcia kid from the gulag that they sent him to over there.
Speaking of him,
right, and brought him back under what?
They brought him back under human trafficking. They charged this man with human trafficking and other violations related to that. Because they just don't want to admit that they fucked up.
They were wrong. They went back to a traffic stop to where there was other people in the car with him. Some of the folks didn't have ID. Nobody got arrested. Nobody got locked up. They all went on their way. So how is that human trafficking, human smuggling? Remember, Pan Bondi said that he would never step foot back in this country again.
I got a feeling that when this is all said and done, when Trump is not in office no more, that they granted Trump immunity. I don't think none of these other people was going to have immunity.
None of them.
And I think that before Trump get a chance to even grant pardons, I really hope and believe that when these midterms come up, he's going to be out of there. He's not going to be able to do pardons. If he do, he's going to be doing them like real quick.
Yeah.
They're going to try to get rid of him. And I think also, that when they start doing these impeachments, I think the Supreme Court, some of Roberts, Alito, and
Clarence,
Uncle Tom,
right, Sambo,
Uncle Tom. That's what I'm calling him. I ain't going to call him by his name.
Right. Sambo Thomas, right? All of them going to get impeached.
All of them going on. They're going to be on the chopping block because they gave Trump the power to do this.
Absolutely, they did. All of them, absolutely are. And speaking of Trump and the power and the Mexicans and all that, I see, Shar, you put something down there. So there is big shout out to Lisa Cabrera. I went over to her stream and I gave her a shout out, folks. If you don't mind, go over, like, share, and subscribe. Some very good work over there. That's why I brought this up at the beginning of my stream. I looked for some of the black male content creators to see what they were talking about, who they were talking about. The majority of upper echelon content creators said that about like the angry man. He over there about women. No disrespect to cellulite podcast, but he over cooking with Kaya. BGS and what's the guy's name? About women.
Yeah, they don't
But
want to
all
talk
this
about
shit
the real,
going on. That's
the
what,
real stuff. They don't want to get into realistic stuff. And I'm gonna comment to what my man just put up, HT Ball, if that's his name. I'm sorry if I didn't get it right. But no, them people are riding. Okay, I'm tired of people like selling you out podcasts claiming people are riding to protect illegals. People are riding to protect rule of law and due process. That may be true, but this they fight. They voted for this.
that's right.
That's why you don't see no black people out there helping them, because the way that they the things that they said about us, the way that they treated us when they told us to mind our business.
We are.
And that's what exactly what we're doing. So it's a lot of people.
We are.
It's a lot of people, and I've been looking at podcasts. It's like all morning, and there's a lot of black people saying, "Look, I don't give a fuck about what's going on with them. Deport all these motherfuckers."
And look, like Eddie Murphy said, y'all brought that shit on yourself,
right?
It wasn't
so
us.
people is not they not siding with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right?
It may be rule of law, but maybe this is what this country needs, because you know what? I don't have nothing against Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I live next door to them. There's a bunch of them on my block. You know what I'm saying? And I get along with them just great. But, you know, the way that they look at us, you know, the way that they talk about us. Yeah, they getting they just desserts. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
I
feel that once all this is said and done and the Democrats get back in office, leave them people where they at. Don't even open the door for them no more. Because look at everything that Biden did for these people to keep them here, and y'all voted against that to put Trump in office. And Trump told you, I don't look, for the life of me, I don't know if we are living in a virtual reality, because the reality I know is that Trump would have never won office 10, 20 years ago. Never.
No, he wouldn't have. He absolutely wouldn't have. And let me these and A-Ball will now address this one first. You're absolutely right. We should help them. And the point of the matter is, I think said we were on the team with them. We asked some of the Latino population, say, hey, Trump is not really going to. It's not for you folks. He really isn't. And they handed us their ass to kiss. Even in the fate of telling them, look, don't vote for Trump. I understand there might be some valid reasons to why you don't want to vote for Vice President Harris. That's a given. Okay. But Trump is going to do a whole lot more damage to you first, and then to go to Blackheart's comment, and he's going to come after us. Because remember, Trump said he's going to start deporting the enemy from within. Once they get all the illegal aliens out, then who's the next people that they're going to come after?
They're going to come for us. So I was looking at Tabitha Speaks today. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a YouTube commentator. She's channel is called Tabitha Speaks Politics. And when I say that woman keeps it very real.
She sure absolutely does.
Very real.
We're going to cover something from her just a little bit later on. We absolutely
that's what's up. That's my girl, man. But she keeps it real. And she said it in her podcast. She said, hey, this is just a warm-up, because they coming back around to us eventually.
Yes, sir. They definitely are. And speaking of ladies with that's on point here in the YouTube streets, let's check out Elisa Cabrera and her ode to the, well, you'll see. Okay, Lisa, what's going on here? I'm trying to get it to play. Where we at?
Down to a bunch of Donald Trump rallies singing that song, y'all, for free. They ran all over the place singing that song for free. Donald Trump didn't even pay them to do it. I said, well, damn, even Diamond and Silk, although they got chump money, they at least got something for being on the campaign trail. But them, they went around singing that silly song and didn't even get paid. And to add insult to injury, now it's almost like a meme because people are laughing at that particular song and everything that occurred after. And Donald Trump, of course, deporting the very people, you know, Cuban people are being deported out of this country. And of course, they didn't think that was going to happen. But, you know, Donald Trump is a criminal. I mean, I don't know how many times people show you that they're a criminal and they can't be trusted and they don't keep their word on nothing. Donald Trump does not even keep his word the first time.
And that's a great point there, Lisa. Now, when the press has a running count of how many lies you tell them, what's that? What's up there, APTV? How you doing, good brother? Make sure y'all check out my man APTV's channel. Always got some good information over there. Sid, what you think about that? You think Donald Trump can be trusted at any time?
Man, he shouldn't have been trusted in the first place. They should have known from the first time when he was locking up people, made detention centers. What made y'all think he wasn't going to do it again? When the man sat there and said, I'm going to be a dictator on day one, what made you think he wasn't going to do it again? When people was telling you, hey, he didn't know the ins and outs last time, but the next time, when he do it, he going to put people around him that's going to be loyalists. And look at all the people that before he even started naming members to the cabinet, that the people that he had around him should have let them know before they went in that voting booth, said, I don't think this is going to be a good choice. But, arrogance, the need to feel white, the need to blend in. And what they didn't know was that the whole purpose was to get rid of them in the first place.
In the first place. I don't know if he would look. I don't know if he found Jesus, but he might have found Jesus in them ice raids that HT Baldwin.
They found a few Jesuses.
They found Julio with my hubcap. Shit, it's in the back of that van.
Office. You think he's keeping his word now? Now, look, y'all, I may be going live again a little later on. Elon Musk has come out and said out on X, he is still going off on Donald Trump. And he said, if it wasn't for him, Donald Trump would never have won the election. So I might be coming back.
Again, I agree with you 100%. Anyone who says that Donald Trump would have won this election on his own is an absolute, something wrong with you.
Look, he ran the worst campaign in history. He said, I got concepts of a plan.
Concepts.
I'm looking at the results and I'm gonna specifically point to Pennsylvania. I don't know if you guys was paying attention on election night, but I definitely was. Mm-hmm. But I remember when they kept saying, we count Philadelphia. They had all the counties counted. And when Philadelphia, and I think it was another city, I don't know if it was Pittsburgh or something, but it was one of them other cities in Pennsylvania. They was like, look, we're not going to have results until tomorrow. Then all of a sudden, 2 hours later, Donald Trump won.
Right. It was Pittsburgh. And
make it make sense.
Right. A lot of folks said that the actual election that was stolen was not the 2020 election. It was this election.
But see, the thing about it is that he bitched and complained about 2020.
He planted the seeds. Planted the seeds of discord.
Planted the seeds. Yeah,
that's right. And that's what he always does. That's a playbook of Donald Trump's throughout the history of him. If it's not based in his favor, then they cheated, they lied, or they're just being flat out unfair to him because they don't like it.
Well,
Time magazine, the list goes on.
Well, I think that Elon been dry snitching, I have a feeling, and I'm not saying it, but I have a feeling that the olive branch has been extended to Elon Musk in Russia.
He said, fuck it.
And when I believe that when he get out the U.S., I believe that he's going to tell the truth. He's going to tell the truth. And it's going to come out that he's going to say, I helped rig this election. He's going to be in Russia and he ain't going to be able to be touched.
Right. Like,
You're not
what's
saying
the guy?
that yet
What's that? Salman Rushdie? Didn't he go?
Yeah.
Where would he run to?
Yeah. I believe that when he, as soon as he stepped foot in Russia and he moved all his SpaceX and Starlink stuff over there, oh, he going to tell it.
Well,
He going to tell it.
It definitely
He gonna
remains
tell it
to
all.
be seen. Let's continue here.
A little later, I'm going to gather some more information about what he recently said. And I know Donald Trump is probably going to go ballistic on him now, but we will talk about that a little later, hopefully tonight.
And speaking of that, Donald Trump usually goes ballistic on people. He was kind of calm when Elon came at him, wasn't he? He was uncharacteristically Trump.
He ain't came up with a nickname for him yet.
Nothing.
But we got a nickname for Trump, though.
It sure does. Listen, the only thing that Trump did that might have hurt Elon's feelings was, I don't want to drive no more. Take it back. That sounds like y'all was in a relationship. No wonder the word bromance comes up so often.
Right. So y'all, let me share my screen so we can get started on this one. So I want y'all to see after the election how people were reacting to this song. All right. Okay. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Give me a 1 if you can see the screen. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all, let's do it.
And a lot of these folks are speaking in Spanish there, folks. So that what they're saying is actually. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote. Yo voy a votar por Donald Trump.
Tres Doritos después.
We have some breaking news just in from the Supreme Court. This is a 7-2 ruling involving justices now allowing the Trump administration to revoke protected status for 500,000 immigrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela, while the
I will vote for Donald Trump. Riba! I will vote.
And see, this is what I'm talking about right here, folks. You know, we as black people was criticizing this. We saw this. It was all over TikTok, all over social media. This song was popping up everywhere. I will vote for Donald Trump. Doing the merengue dance and all that to every place.
Playing their heart away.
You say that again?
Playing their heart away. Them people were playing like they never played before.
Right. With the little red hats on and things. I wondered who's making.
Raise your hands, come on. Raise your hands. Dale cintura, 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 cintura. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Let's go. Latino for Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Bueno, señoras y Trump, hear that song, okay? Again.
You
Yo
heard
quiero
that
que todo el
song,
mundo
though.
lo cante fuerte. Para que nuestro presidente la escuche. ¿Ok? En español bien ahorita.
Viene ahora.
1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God, I will vote. Everybody.
Oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump. And you see what y'all got, Latinos? You see why black folks are so mad at you? Y'all went around singing for free. Didn't get no money for this. Created this song to hype up your fellow Latino men and women to vote for Donald Trump. Music is powerful, folks. Sticks with you longer than anything else.
And you know, this is the type of song that stays in your head for a while too. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Right. You can't unhear it. It was like that. What was that song? Gangman Style. Once you heard it, you couldn't unhear it.
You couldn't unhear it. You can't unhear this.
Right. I will vote. And they really say Donald. I will vote for Donald Trump. How many
I will vote
in his name
to get deported.
Exactly. That's what they did. They fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Come on. Repeat, repeat.
¿Cómo les va a los cubanos por Trump? ¿Cómo les va con su papá? Déjenme mostrarles cómo es que les está yendo a todos ustedes. Roll the tape.
Desde que llegó esto, lo único que ha hecho ha sido trabajar y trabajar como un bolo. Como un bolo, eso es una injusticia. Una injusticia, una grande injusticia. A ver, nosotros somos cubanos y venimos a este país en busca de mejorar las vidas.
Todos saben que somos cubanos, que venimos buscando una mejor vida. Y ven acá, las demás nacionalidades no vienen a...
Well, Cubanos, Nicaraguans, Argentinians, told y'all on day one what he was going to do. He told you this. Now, the humanitarian side of me is pathetic, but the real side of me is saying, you got what you asked for. And like some down in the chat room right now, black people, we're next. As soon as they round up all the Latinos and they're satisfied that they got, then Donald Trump is coming for us. But again, you got content creators that's over there that's big up in this dude, not realizing that he's going to try to destroy Black America because Trump hates black people, and I'm going to prove that. He does not like black people. This was the setup. He knows that about the invasion and the borders and putting all kind of nasty labels on these folks. Drug dealers, criminals, rapists, all kind of different things. And y'all still voted for him. So you wonder why black people don't have sympathy for you. This is why.
I don't want them black people. I don't have any sympathy for none of these people.
Okay. Again, it's in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. Which one you want?
Buscar una mejor vida. Ven lo egoísta que son ustedes. Ustedes nunca contaron con que se paga en la tierra y nadie se va sin pagar la cuenta. Okay. Todo el daño que ustedes hicieron, ya sea con su voto o con la lengua, los que no tienen papeles apoyando a Papá Trump. Desalmada yo no. Yo voté precisamente para que no deportaran a las personas inocentes. Yo voté por Kamala Harris. Todos los demócratas, independientes y republicanos
don't mention her name now.
Don't throw her in there.
Don't throw her in there.
You know who they should really be blaming, and I believe that the one person that the Cubans really should be blaming is Marco Rubio. I mean,
I was about to say it. Yeah, I was about to say it. I got a special place for Marco Rubio. I've been collecting some things on him. I'm going to do just a stream, just focus on what he's doing. Each one of those, what's the other lady's name? Linda McMahon, what's the other one, Christy Nome. I'm going to do a stream on each one of those, and I'm going to show these folks that these are the people that we should be really mad at. Yeah, Trump is the head, but these are the people that are behind the scenes that are systematically destroying places at the USAID, the public. Linda McMahon. Lord have mercy. That's a story in itself. I'm not even gonna get into that.
You know, I do want to kind of touch up on this.
Sure.
How is this going to help us compete against countries like China?
It's not.
It's not. They are dumbing down our people, and in the end, they're gonna pay the price for it too. Because if we can't innovate, that means we can't create, we can't compete. How's we gonna compete with the Chinese kids and the Japanese kids and all the Asian kids that they take education seriously in those countries? Very seriously in those countries.
Absolutely.
Them kids,
absolutely.
Them third graders are smarter than our high schoolers in China.
They're required to speak at least 2 different languages in school, coming out the box. Coming out the box.
Yeah.
Think how many
Probably English and
dialects
Chinese now.
Right. How many dialects of Chinese do they speak? What's 50, 54, something like 50, 54, somewhere around in there?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number.
But the majority of the Chinese children that come over to the United States or over there, they speak all those different Mandarin and different things like that. They speak. I won't say all of them, but they speak enough of them. Let me hit on this comment right here. This is from H.T. Baldwin. When a black man says, it depends on how you define Nazis, I can't fuck with it. Them nor respect it. Cell is in with an exclamation point. So I would imagine this is something that you heard over on the Cellulite podcast. Now, for me, any man, any black man, or any man that says, how do you define a Nazi? That tells me you're not very educated. Those 4 letters define itself. Have you ever heard will Nazi ever be a synonym of good?
It's definitely not in Germany.
Whatever, but I guarantee you, if you look at it close enough, and and as soon as you say Nazi, you think evil, you think death, you think destruction. Is that the definition that you're talking about, Sel? Because that's the only one that I know. There's nothing good coming from nothing good about Nazi. Nothing good about them 4 letters, brother. Nothing.
No tenemos culpa. Los que tienen culpa son todos los que apoyaron a Trump y son todos los que sin papeles le daban a la lengua en redes. Pues miren esto. MAGA tears, baby. Does anybody want some coffee? Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
¿Por qué están arrestando personas inocentes que solo huyen de una dictadura, de una tiranía asesina comunista?
Tras la detención de la joven cubana Laura de la Caridad González Sánchez, líderes del movimiento anticomunista I-220A expresaron su apoyo.
Como movimiento legal en el estado de la Florida, necesitamos por favor que se tomen en cuenta que si no hemos cometido crimen, que tenemos nuestras vidas organizadas, nuestro asilo pendiente, que por favor no tenemos por qué vivir con este terror.
I will vote for Donald Trump.
And you see where your I will vote come from. You see what happened. See what happened to you folks. Y'all ran around big up in Donald Trump. Now you're not safe in your own homes. You're not safe at your jobs. You're not safe even walking down the street, because all that someone has to do is identify you as an illegal alien. Folks said I was wrong for this some months ago when I mentioned this, but you tell me the difference between the SS and the ICE Rangers right now. What is the difference?
None. And actually, it's even more sadder because we're in modern times now. That's what makes it even more sadder, is because History has taught us nothing.
Nothing. What's up there, Information Man Show? Y'all make sure y'all check out my man. He's always got a great platform over there, especially on his shorts or on the what do you call that? The community tab is always posting something about Black history. Really do enjoy your post. Information Man, big shout out to you, good brother. Big shout out to you. Another one of the warriors out here in these YouTube streets, folks. Go check them out.
Hey,
I'm sorry, you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna say something about the smugness of this whole situation with the song, and because they thought that they was untouchable.
Yeah.
They thought they was untouchable. They thought that, okay, well, Trump would deport everybody else, but he not gonna get us because we got protected status. And the Cubans was the most arrogant of all the Hispanics when it comes to
right, but he stripped away their protective status.
Oh yeah,
he told them that immediately. That was one of the very first things he did. Stripped away their protective status and then start rounding them up. Jobs, nursing homes. They didn't care where they got them from. Street, high schools. Didn't care.
The crazy part is all those successful Cuban business owners that's getting deported. They're not going to be able to take that money with them.
Sure,
that money is still going to be sitting here.
They're going to be absorbed by who? ICE.
Mm-hmm.
ICE, baby.
They got to pay for it. They got to pay for this stuff somehow.
Yes, sir. When you dance to the music, sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the piper. You also dance some more.
I will vote. Raise your hands, come on. For Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. Arriba. I will vote for Donald Trump.
I want to thank Los Tres del Habanas. How did I do, Mercy? For their incredible performance.
Nosotros lo hicimos porque nosotros queríamos. A mí nadie me puso centavo. A mí nadie me dijo que esto iba a ser beneficioso. Ni siquiera que iba a
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
It's crazy. The way that GOP specifically used in Florida, especially Miami, on Venezuelans and Cubans is unreal. They told you guys that they're only going after the criminals. You guys are the criminals. When you come to this country illegally, that's the crime. But what you do is you seek asylum because you're saying you're running away from a very bad government. But you still have to get here to seek asylum. And when you seek asylum, you give your name, where you're living, where you're working. That's how.
Now, see, I didn't watch this whole clip, folks. I just downloaded it earlier, but I just said that earlier. That when you put your name on that piece of paper that said, "This is the address that you can contact me at. I'm seeking asylum. If I got a job, this is where I'm going to." I think, correct me if I'm wrong. These folks have to go report every so often. Let them know where they're at. If you go get a driver's license, all of that stuff. So you're basically giving the ICE the heads up that when you're ready to start deporting us, just come here. The real illegal aliens has no paperwork. You can't trace them.
Mm-hmm. And that's why they're raiding jobs. That's why they're raiding jobs.
I saw a clip where they was, I think this might have been they were working like in a forest or something like that. The ICE came through there. And them boys hit the woods like roaches when you turn the lights on. Pew!
This works. So that's what they did. They didn't go around trying to find a bunch of illegal immigrants everywhere because that's difficult to do. Apart from the farms and the construction sites, it's hard to find illegal immigrants in the country. They don't leave a paper trail. But people that seek asylum do. And that's why they went to y'all houses in Miami and picked y'all up because they knew where you were at. Your paperwork wasn't completed. But hey, I will vote for Donald Trump. You voted for your people to get deported because he don't give a shit what you look like. Y'all could look white. So thoughts and deportations. my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Yeah.
And see, said a lot of folks, no, I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, but a lot of folks saying the same thing that you're saying. You got what you asked for. Don't look for no sympathy from me. I give a fuck what happens to you.
And like I said, when Democrats do take over, leave them people in Cuba.
Okay.
Because they showed their gratitude for the people that was trying to help them. The people that told them. Kamala Harris told you. Hillary Clinton told you. Y'all been trying to hear that.
Okay. All right.
You know.
All right. Let's move on to our next thing, then, folks. Again, if you want to see that in its entirety, go on over to. I'll drop the link down in the whatchamacallit, or you can check out Lisa's channel directly. I would suggest that you do go like, share, and of course subscribe to the channel, folks. Help out it. One thing. Let me say this. You know, all these little different independent network news networks have popped up. TYT. At the Midas Touch, but all of them notice. If you notice one thing, folks, they're cohesive, and they're talking about things that matter. We as Black YouTube content creators, why are we not doing this? Why are we over there talking about cooking with Kaya? Why are we over there talking about, okay, Diddy? I can understand talk about the Diddy trial. That's one thing, but why are we over there talking about Offset and Cardi B mad because how their son got his hair braided? Why is that the subject of a 4-hour stream? Why is it the subject of a 6-hour stream to where why Black women are not getting married? The fuck? When all this shit is going on right now. Let's go to this next clip here.
But I wanted to poke my head in because I don't know what's going on. Is Elon Musk still dragging Donald Trump's big
Yeah, he is.
bill? Y'all let me know down
there. Did this woman look familiar to you?
I make it my point to see her every day. I don't even start my morning until I see her podcast.
Right. I was just looking at what Shar said. You're absolutely right there, Shar. There's no super chats for this type of information. Most of the super chats come from you wanting to drag someone and you want your comment to stand out. You want everybody to see that you can drag Jay Prince, or you can drag Cellulite, or you can drag Big Drake, XXX. That's where the money is. It's all about the money. But it's over here. There's no sense in super chat true information. That's why I never mention it. There's no reason for it. Y'all paid for it. Y'all, to be quite honest, honestly, this is my honest opinion. And I say we as Black folks, we pay for the dereliction of these content creators. We built these folks. Angry Man, BGS, Anton Daniels, the list goes on. We built them niggas.
But you know, a lot of it has to do with the stereotypes that we project on ourselves from the music that we listen to the programming that we watch.
True.
You know, when you're looking at what's the name of that show? The show my girlfriend watched that crap. I'd be like, how do you watch that shit? I think it's something about some bunch of women fighting each other all the time.
Is it on the Zeus network?
I think so. I don't know. I don't watch it.
Zeus
I don't watch it. I have to. I'm forced to listen to it, unfortunately, but I don't watch this stuff.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the Zeus network or the Bad Girls Club or
that's what it is.
Yeah,
Bad Girls Club.
Bad Girls.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Of course, I have nieces, so I hear them talking about it.
Yeah, so you know, it's like this is the programming that we got. When you listen to the music that we play, you know, well, I don't play it. I try not to. You know what I'm saying? But you listen to the music that we play. It's all demoralizing. It's all about the same thing. You know, you got female rappers, all they talk about is their vaginas. And, you know, male rappers, you know, they ain't nobody talking about real stuff. Ain't nobody making music to reflect none of this that's going on. None of it.
No, the music reflects, dare I say, the music reflects the culture right now.
Right, the culture.
Right.
And this is why it was so easy for them to feel that, you know, they don't have to listen to us because we don't even listen to us. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Hey, Mel, how you doing? Let me read this comment here. It says the LBGT community folks, new MAGA folks, some pop on the screen, and was attempting to utilize the trans topics to enrage folk. Why didn't the LGBT community get a hold of their people ASAP? For now, choice. That's a good point there, Mel. You know, again, some of the blame is on regular black folks. Some of the blame is on regular Latino folks. Some of the blame of why Trump is in office can be directly traced to the as they say, no disrespect when I say this, the alphabet community. It can be, because they were, especially with this Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert talking about gay fencing and women, and we're talking about through all of collegiate sports. Talking about 10 people, but they made that an issue for folks to ride on. So you're absolutely right. So again, we all have a little responsibility. We all have to own up to, and when I say we all, and I mean including myself, because I'm a part of what this experiment they call America, good for good, bad, or indifferent. You know, we are what we are.
In the comments. So I take a break after asking the question if Elon Musk is still dragging Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill. I go on over the threads to see what discussion is being had, and Elon Musk has taken off the gloves because, baby, what is this? Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude.
Is he lying?
I don't know about you.
He's not wrong. On either account, the Republicans will not hold a majority in the House or the Senate without Elon's money. Remember, there was a point in time that Elon, if the Democrats get back into office, I think they're going to charge Elon with election fraud, because he would literally was paying people to vote.
More than that.
Yeah. Hey, Cola.
When I tell you, believe me when I say this, Russia didn't already extended the olive branch to that man. Elon is going to flee the country. I'm telling you, because it ain't just election fraud. It's the stuff he did with Doge. The way they went into these government buildings that they had no business going into. They had no authority going into. They were supposed to have Senate and congressional approval to do anything that they did. It's not even a formal body of government. Like when Trump goes, Doge is gone too.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, when that smoke get a little thick, and when they clear up, Elon gonna be in Russia talking about, well, I'm launching these rockets because Russia won him bad.
like Sean said, they're gonna start calling him Elon Snowden instead of Edward.
Yeah,
Snowden.
Elon Snowden, and he gonna tell it all. And then think about it, he gonna go over there with all our information, everything,
Social Security numbers,
all
of that,
bank statements, anything that they got on people.
That's right.
He's gonna go to another country, and I'm telling you, we're not gonna be able to get him, and he's gonna expose a lot. When it's easy to throw rocks across the pond when you're across the pond.
Sure enough. Let me read this right here. It's from the information man. Black men voted for Trump 21%, white men at 57%, white women at 54%, Latin men at 54%. White people and Latin men were the main reason. Absolutely right.
Yes.
So so white men, especially those white men that live in these poor states, you're losing your job, you're losing your benefits, you won't be able to go and get them SNAP benefits no more. What y'all gonna eat? And speaking of that, when you go to the every once in a while, I go out to the place where they hand out the little food, the food banks and stuff like that. Y'all should see the difference now. 2 years ago, all kind of goodies was coming to the food banks. Now it's just the shit that folks don't want. It's the shit that folks don't want. Nobody's
Yeah,
donating.
they're gonna be the scraps that everybody's gonna be fighting over.
Exactly.
Because this is the thing, without the migrant workers picking the farms, and that's another subject, because I've been reading and looking at a lot of stuff. A lot of these white farmers is mad because we don't want to come work the fields, because they thought that we was gonna come work them fields.
But I told them that from the beginning. I'm not coming out there. That sun is too hot. I'm not going out there. And I don't know too many brothers right now that's gonna say, hey, I'm damn working, trying to work a corporate job. I'm gonna go out there in the fields and pick watermelons and tomatoes and beans and stuff like that.
I seen one thing where the guy had a job listing 7 days a week, in season, $11 an hour, 7 days a week.
Shit.
Who is he talking to? Because he's only talking to me.
Listen, I could go out and cut 2 yards and be done for the day. What the hell? What I said, you work 8 hours a day, right? $11 an hour. Round that out to $88, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, plus tax now. Your tax coming off.
Yeah, tax coming off.
So you done made about what? After all the tax, Social Security, you done made about what? $70 for an 8-hour work day.
And I'm quite sure that those days is probably longer than 8 hours.
Shit, you know damn well they are. And ain't no overtime, ain't no breaks, no nothing. If you're working in the service industry to where you're a server, remember Trump promised that there will be no tax on tips. Shit, check out that big beautiful bill. Y'all getting taxed.
No, there's not gonna be no tax on tips because they're not gonna be making tips because they rounding them up. They rounding them up. And to be real with you, like, who really wants to work in a restaurant earning tips? You know, making $3 an hour, and you earn tips. I mean, yeah, sometimes you can make tips. You know, you can do good on tips, but it depends on your location where you work at.
Yeah.
But who's really gonna do that type of work now?
Listen, when I was a kid, I did it for fun just to go out and make a little extra money. But like Cola said, we done had our time in them trenches.
Right.
We had to do this shit for free. At least y'all getting paid for it. We had to do it for free. And they got mad when we told them we didn't want to do this shit no more. They didn't want to do it no more.
That's what, when they come back around to us, I believe that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to force people. And this is why they cutting out a lot of these programs, because you got to make money. Everybody got to make something. And them jobs is going to be on them farms. They're going to be trying to get people to work them farms and stuff because they're going to be the only jobs available.
And listen, folks got to work the farms, folks, because of course, fruits, vegetables, all that stuff. And I can tell you now, I would venture to say that when you go into the grocery store now, springtime, you're still starting to see the vegetables. I guarantee the prices are higher now. The fruit. I think it's almost time for, I know, for peach season to come out. So for those of you who like fresh peaches, go look at the price from 2 years ago and look at the price now. Watermelon, some watermelons are in season. Go look at the difference. You're not talking about the big watermelons. We're talking about them little round ones that you split them in half and you can eat by yourself.
Yeah. I'm looking at Blackhawk's post, and he said, in my opinion, they are not going to do anything to Elon Musk. What has Elon Musk did or said about Trump, we didn't already know. This is a distraction. I agree to a certain degree, but I disagree on one thing. There's always a price to pay, brother, when you're doing the stuff that you do. Elon didn't do too much dirt. He didn't piss too many people off.
Yeah.
And what Trump has done, you can best believe Elon is not going to be here. No. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that.
I'll agree with you on that. Said I do believe, this is my honest opinion. I think if the Republicans take over the House, if the Democrats take over the House, I think they will go directly after Elon Musk. They will go directly after Trump.
There's going to be investigations like crazy.
Yes, out the yin yang. And as long as that Trump has that attorney general there, that's in his favor, of course.
They're going to. I have a feeling that this is going to be the one time you're going to see a whole government in the United States, like they do in other countries, and that purge the whole government. I think that the whole government is going to get purged.
It needs to be. It needs to be a reset. It has to be, because there's too many of these lifelong Republicans that's been in office. A whole lot of folks talking about term limits. I think that should be something that should be amendment to the Constitution. Term limits. Some folks are too old.
Yeah, because you look at people like Schumer and Pelosi. You know what I'm saying? They've been around since the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I feel that in Joe Biden's case, you know, he's been around just as long before he became president. That in Joe Biden's case, you know, the Democrats fell into a situation where they thought that, you know, especially with Joe Biden, that he can reach across the aisle, he could work with the Republicans, not really understanding that this is a whole new breed of Republicans. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you take modern black people now and put them in slavery days, you know, none of that's going to work, because, you know, he ain't going. You know what I'm saying? I think that Joe Biden was warned early in his presidency that he needed to increase the Supreme Court by 3 seats, and he refused to do it.
And he should have.
We are paying for it.
That's exactly right. They was talking about stacking the court. No, if Joe Biden would have done what the majority of Americans wanted him to do back then, you're right, Sid, we wouldn't be in this fix either. Clarence Thomas, let's think about this, folks. Clarence Thomas took more from big, wealthy donors than all the Supreme Court justices combined. Not the ones that's sitting right now. I'm talking about ever. So what would make me think that this man has not been bought and paid for? That he's in it looking at the best interest of the country? No, he's looking out for the best interest of himself and his.
Then you got to look at his wife. His wife was involved in the January 6th situation. Like firsthand. Directly involved in trying to derail the government then.
Firsthand.
So we already know that if the Democrats get office, he's probably going to retire.
Yeah,
because he's gonna get impeached. He's probably gonna be the first one to get impeached.
Yes, sure. Forever.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Let's continue.
But my mind went to the 2024 election and how for a whole bunch of us, the math wasn't mathing with those election results. Some of us chose to try to dig deeper into it, and some of us accepted the reality of the situation and continued to try to keep us informed with what was happening politically. But in reading that, I immediately thought about this conversation that is taking place out there on social media.
Let me pause that just for a minute. And you know what?
I got to answer that too.
Yeah, that's a good thing there. It says, if Trump and Elon were beefing, why did the Supreme Court ruling allow Doge access to information from SSA if Trump and Elon were really through? And that's the thing. There's a whole lot of folks out there that agree with you that this is a ruse. And what would lead me to the point of thinking that it's not is because it may have started out as a ruse, but Elon took it too far when he mentioned them Epstein files.
I think it's real. And I think that the Supreme Court allowed those access to the information because, for one, technically Elon is not supposed to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not supposed to be part of Doge now because his time is up. But Doge is still around. Now, Tabitha did say one thing when she said something about Elon, and she said, don't think that Elon is not going to be in the background, and that could be possible. So the beef could be kind of both, but I'm sticking to it. I guarantee you when the midterms come around, if they don't find a way to cancel the midterms and then midterm elections come around and that blue wave hit Washington like a tsunami, you ain't going to be able to find Elon Musk. I stand on that.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that Trump is going to flee the country too.
I agree with you.
For real.
Right.
That's why. And you know, the one group that's kind of like has been left out of the comments has been the Palestinians. We ain't heard nothing about them. They instantly shut the fuck up.
Right. And even so much, so even the war in Ukraine is kind of taking a backseat to everything that's going on here, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, the thing about Ukraine is the reason why we ain't hearing about Ukraine is because I think Europe has been supplying them with weapons, and Ukraine has been really damaging Russia. Like I think Ukraine damaged the nuclear the nuclear site where they keep all their missiles at. I think they damaged it to the point where they can't even launch the missiles.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
yes, they did. They
Ukraine
definitely
still got help.
Yeah. And let me just say this, address this comment right here. The only reason Clarence Thomas is in the Supreme Court as a Supreme Court judge is because of Joe Biden. And you're absolutely right. For those of us that was around during that time, Information Man, we saw those hearings live when we saw how they totally just disrespected that Anita Hill. That everything that she could possibly have been saying about Clarence Thomas was wrong. From the hair on the coke, that sounds like a white boy joke, don't it? Look, you got pubic hair on your Coca-Cola can. That sounds like a white boy joke. We don't say shit like that.
Nah.
But they drug that black woman through the ringer. And you're right, especially with Joe Biden. Now, if folks would have came up to me and talked about that, if folks would have came up to me and said, I don't vote for Joe Biden because of what he did to this, I had nothing to stand on. When they said I didn't vote for Joe Biden because of he was part of the crime bill, well, that's when we kind of start parting ways, because although he was he was in it, but a lot of us, I mean, skin color of us, was right there with that crime bill.
Mm-hmm.
Was right there with it.
And then another thing a lot of people don't understand about that crime bill was that they wasn't even paying attention to none of that stuff until white people started snorting and smoking. That's when it became a problem. It wasn't a problem because it was in black communities. It was a problem because white people
right. And when they start like they take the little instance of the shot and training day where the little college kids was in the hood, you know, to get their supply of drugs. Isn't that what Denzel said? You come here, you do your dirt, and then you go back to your side of town like nothing's wrong.
No mainstream news media is picking up on this story, but mainstream news media has failed the citizens of this country. So we can't look to mainstream news media when it comes to discussing the seriousness of this conversation.
And you're absolutely right again there, Tabitha. We cannot look to legacy media anymore, folks. Mm-hmm. It's all corrupt. CBS, NBC, ABC. Listen, some of these networks literally paid Donald Trump money back, gave him money.
Yeah. CBS, I think ABC.
Right. What's the guy named Morning Joe? How much shit did he talk about Donald Trump? And as soon as Trump won the election, what did he do? I haven't watched him since.
Morning.
I
Ever
haven't
since
watched
he
him
took
since.
that trip, they took that trip to Mar-a-Lago. I was done.
I haven't
with
watched
them.
him since. Talking about he needs to know.
I think that's the thing. I mean, MSNBC was struggling, but not as bad. But I think after that, MSNBC just been tumbling down the mountain ever since.
That's the straw that broke the camel's back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Story out of Rockland County, New York, where a lawsuit has been filed regarding, it questions the accuracy of the 2024 presidential election and the Senate election results. Yes, this lawsuit has been granted to move forward because of the proof, the receipts that they provided, that the math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing, but nowhere in mainstream legacy media have you heard about this. I heard about it from what's that? Not the TYT networks, but the Midas Touch, and now I'm hearing it from Tabitha Speaks here. Yeah. So again, folks, when to look around the YouTube streets and the YouTube platforms to try and get valuable, pertinent information, I hate to say it, we can't look to the men. Anton over there talking about girls Angry Man over there talking about girls. A few of the other podcasters over there talking about girls and relationships.
And rich people problems.
Rich people problems. I'm not rich.
I ain't either. And I don't care about rich people problems. I can care less.
I give a fuck less about
what
that
Cardi
problem.
B is doing.
Right.
I can care less what Diddy done did, because guess what? I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. Listen, at some point in time, it's called accountability. All I need to know, if I was in the entertainment industry back in the day, what I've heard about from Mary J. Blige and all these different people about the Puffy situation, I would have never gone to one of his parties anyway. But again, instead of talking about things of substance, when you click onto these streams, this is what you see. They're parroting the actual talking points of these neo-Nazis, white supremacists, Proud Boys. Speaking of the Proud Boys, do you know that the government's about to pay these motherfuckers off?
Yeah, they got to. They know too much.
Enrique
Del Toro knows too much.
These folks pleaded guilty. But they're going back suing the government, say that they were harshly treated or they were wrongly prosecuted for the crimes that they did. Did we not see these folks on TV running up in the Capitol?
Hey, bro, it's not a fair place, man. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. But I also have a feeling that.
And now Elon Musk is coming.
Go ahead, say again.
No, but I also have a feeling that, she talking about mainstream media? They coming after these YouTubers next.
And they're gonna have to.
You can believe that. They're gonna be shutting a lot of channels down. YouTube is already demonetizing a lot of channels as we speak. And
shadow banning
these
you.
Political commentators are gonna be next because Google is not gonna want to pay Trump.
Right.
Now, don't get your hopes up, because as long as Pam Bondi is over the Department of Justice, no real investigation will be coming from the Department of Justice. It's going to take these cities and these states to do the real investigative work in regards to these election results, Matthew. But that tweet from Elon Musk, that would be enough for those who are in the positions of power to do something. That would be enough, in my opinion, for those people to start doing something. He didn't stop there. He also tweeted
enough to start holding investigations, to start holding some people's feet to the fire. And this is the problem that I have with the Democrats. Democrats, what are y'all going to do about this information? Why this not information that has been put out to the American people? The Republicans are not going to. You asking the criminals to lock themselves up. They're not going to.
No, they're not going to
do
this
next tweet.
This. Donald Trump put this out. I cannot believe the Republicans are extending the debt ceiling. I am a Republican and I am. Elon Musk retweeted that and said.
And that's when the Democrats were in office. Remember that? Don't raise the debt ceiling. They wanted to shut the down because the Democrats was talking about raising the debt ceiling. Now here it is. We got the Trump regime wanting to raise the debt ceiling not by a couple billion, trillion this year alone. But what's the difference between now and then? Nothing but time. That's the only difference. But folks act like you can't go back and dig this information up and see it for yourself. And when confronted with that, nah, he didn't mean that. Well, what the fuck did he mean?
So Elon Musk isn't just doing his thing on his own platform. He is now making contact with Donald Trump directly and trolling Donald Trump directly. And you got to ask yourself, regarding that first tweet, you got to ask yourself, everybody that had come out against that big, beautiful bill, Donald Trump had something to say to and about that individual. Why hasn't he said anything about Elon Musk? Elon Musk dragged the hell out of that big, beautiful bill.
Absolutely. That he called it debauchery, whatever. It was nothing good on that tweet about that big, beautiful bill. And y'all know damn well that Donald Trump would have had a name for Joe Biden if he was somebody would have came out against that, or if he just was a low level, that Morning Joe, somebody, he would have had all kind of names for these people. Why not Elon?
Well, did you hear what Elon has said in the tweet?
No, go ahead.
He referred to the fact that Donald Trump only has 3.5 years left, but me and my billions will be around for the next 40 years. So what is that telling you?
So that's what you was talking about earlier?
Yes. This is why I don't think that it's a it's a distraction that people think. I think it's a distraction, but I think that it's real. And people don't understand. Elon has put $200 million into this campaign.
And Trump can't do without his money.
And Tesla's not selling any cars. China is cutting us off. So the battery production for electric vehicles in the United States is probably going to get cut off soon. We can't sell no farm, no agriculture to China like we used to. Because China just said, okay, screw y'all. We going down South America and getting everything. We getting everything from every place else. We don't even need y'all. China ain't even breaking the sweat over this.
Right.
At all.
Nope.
And they educate their kids.
Right. Saudi Arabia, they ain't breaking Iran ain't breaking the sweat. The United Arab Emirates not breaking the sweat. It was like, okay, the United States folks, you need to go over and I guess look at the overall picture. What we're trying to convey here is world leaders do not see the United States of America as a superpower anymore. We're now the laughing stock. That German
we had a might, but we're not going to really use it. We use it against low-level countries that really can't fight back. That's been the one thing that we have done, and I'm quite sure, Music, you know what I'm saying. You've been in the military for a while, you know that's true.
And that's why the majority of this budget is going to the military, because they know that's the only way that we can take over people is by sending in the military.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna get bad because really when the reality hit and the United States can't do or will not be able to afford to do anything, it's gonna be war.
Yeah,
it's gonna be war.
Agreed.
And we probably is gonna go after China. I mean, China can fight back, but with the resources that we have military wise, China can't win. I mean, but it's still gonna be bad for everybody. That's
that Thai City. I'm gonna use Thai City again. That's sure. Let me get out of that.
And Donald Trump and all of his sycophants have continued moving on like Elon Musk ain't said a word. Mike Johnson wants to talk to Elon Musk behind the scenes. Elon Musk is not answering his calls.
That dude.
Listen, I got to get back to work. I'll check in later.
All
Talk
right.
to y'all soon.
She said, listen, I got to get back to work. Talk to y'all later. So again, folks, y'all go over and check out Tabitha Speaks channel. She's on every day. She's on TikTok. I follow her on TikTok, Instagram, all her social media platforms. I follow her because ain't no telling when she's going to pop up with some good information, some information that's going to make a difference. You're not going to go over here and find her talking about cooking with Kaya. Okay. Now again, for our last and final thing here, this next clip is for all the folks that believe Donald Trump really likes black people. And I'm trying to tell y'all he don't. And when you said, like, I'll take for instance you, if I went around and telling folks, you know, I got a DJ on my platform, DJ Dreadhead said, my man rocks the house music, he does this and he does this. Wouldn't you think people would if I said enough, people would be like, at least let me go check it out? Well, he might be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about if I was your brother or someone that was really, really close to you, and I said, you know, my man, my cousin, or my brother, DJ Dreadhead said he'd do the shit, right? You know what he doing? Wouldn't you take what I'm saying at face value?
Definitely.
Right. So we have, in this case, Donald Trump's butler, Donald Trump's nieces, Donald Trump's nephews. Anybody who knows Donald Trump said that the man is a devout racist. Now we've got a man that when you say if I'm writing a book, said, and you're my biographer, wouldn't you think that I would be more truthful to you than anyone else because of the fluff that I want myself to look good in this book? I want to leave this legacy of this book behind, my life, chronicle my life. So wouldn't I be more open to you?
Well, that would be the whole intent, right?
Right. So I say that for purpose. If the biographer came out and said Donald Trump thinks this world would be a whole lot better off without black people, I didn't say the United States, I said the world. Why wouldn't I believe him?
And this is why I say that these African nations need to step up, because I feel that, yeah, they do have a population of 350 million. But I feel that there are, in the continent of Africa, there are more people in the continent of Africa than there are in other countries combined. And the majority of those countries are black. So I believe that there's more black people on this planet than anything, even with the Chinese.
Yes, with the diaspora, the overall diaspora of the world. Yeah, we are the dominant pigment. We are the dominant. Yes, we are.
We are the dominant human race on this planet. Yes. A lot of people don't know that, but they don't teach you that. And they don't tell you that when you take the continent of Africa, how big it is and how you can fit almost every other country in the world inside of Africa, if you arrange it the right way, they don't tell you that.
Well, again, there's a concerted effort to make the United States look bigger on all world maps, on all globes, and to make Africa look smaller. It is. Folks think that Africa literally is smaller than the United States, but actually it is not. Folks think
Africa has all the resources, and Africa. And I was looking at somebody, and they were saying that Africa don't really need Western influence. Africa has everything it needs to be self-sufficient.
Everything to be self-sufficient.
Keep meddling with them.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why they say Gaddafi was offed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was what's it called? The dinar that he was trying to bring out that was based on gold.
Yeah, because again, the majority of the civilized countries, their monetary system is not based on any anything that they could get from gold mining, copper, silver, and all that. Where again, I always use this example. When you go to if you can go to any bank in the United States of America, you can go in there at 9 o'clock broke. You can leave out of that, according to who you know, a millionaire. There's no, but in these countries, again, gold, diamonds. There was a book that I read some time back. It told us all about the De Beers mining and how many people actually died over the years behind those mining camps and different things like that. So it definitely is. There's something to be said about those countries, the continent of Africa being self-sufficient. Are there some bad places in Africa that, of course, that's no different from the United States of America? But let's move on to this next clip here. Of course, comes from the one and only good Dr. Richie from the TYT Networks. Been following this brother from the beginning, but y'all check it out.
Trump has extreme hatred for black people and says the country would be better off without them. Here it is.
Trump racist?
I mean, the word racist, which now becomes in the Trump world a kind of high praise, and because it's meant to suggest the liberal overreach, and the liberals call anybody racist. Therefore, if you call him a racist, he's not a racist. Well, clearly he.
Now, I want to direct that to all those black content creators out there: Anton Daniels, Cellulite, Angry Man, Raw G, all the you folks that want to think that Donald Trump likes you. He does not. Just based on the pigment of your skin, he does not like you, Angry Man. He does not like you, Anton Daniels. He does not. He don't care about your families. He cares nothing about us as the overall population of black people. And this is coming from his biographer, not from me, not from Democrats, from the guy in the room with him, drinking Coca-Cola.
He has some issue with black people, what we might conventionally call racist. The world is a better place to him without black people. Or without having to be aware of black people, without black people somehow in what he considers a zero-sum game with white people. I mean, he has an issue there that is that certainly regards black people as profoundly different from white people.
You don't say. Put it up full mass. The most unsurprising segment on Indisputable. Let's get into the details. Michael Wolff, the president's biographer, shared about Trump's views on race during an interview with the Daily Beast podcast. Now, keep the picture up. I want to make this note for the record. He's not trying to be adversarial to Donald Trump, the person. He's trying to archive a historical narrative in a proper context. The context is simply what it is. Wolff has written 2 books on Trump, Or Nothing, How Trump Recaptured America, and Fire and Fury, Inside the Trump White House. For the latter book, published in 2018, the author said he spent 3 hours interviewing Trump. Trump claimed to have given the author 0 access to the White House. Well, somebody's lying. Quote, I've never...
Again, for me to be going, Michael spend money and time interview this see you. I'm not sure your folks, or if I am, and give me a 1 or 2 if you folks can hear me down in the chat right quick. Like I saw it disappeared off the screen for a minute. Said you still here with me?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you
All
now.
right.
You was breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Not bad. I don't know what did you just hear? What you did or didn't hear about this book here?
I couldn't hear anything, but because you was breaking up real bad.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Well, my fault there, ladies and gentlemen. I can't see on my end of the screen until it goes blank to whether I'm breaking up. So anytime I start barking out, just let me know. We're going to wrap this up here pretty soon anyway, about another 10 minutes. So just bear with me. A thunderstorm is barreling down my neck here in good old South Carolina. If y'all know anything about South Carolina, this is the thunderstorm season. They pop up out of anywhere.
Lies, representations and sources that don't exist. Interesting. That's exactly what Michael said you would say. All right. There's more. So as a reminder, Trump established his credibility with far-right racists when he pushed the rumor that President Barack Obama was not born in the U.S. The real estate developer claimed he sent investigators to Hawaii and found President Obama's birth certificate. It was a lie.
Y'all remember that? Remember, he literally said he had someone that actually had Obama's birth certificate, and it was a fraud. It was a fake. Man, he literally said that on nationwide television, that he could prove that Obama was not born in this country. And when it all turned out to be lies, innuendos, and just flat out bullshit, he stuck to it. See it?
Yeah, I remember that too. And I'm trying to figure out, it's hard to get a birth certificate here. So how was anybody able to get his birth certificate in Hawaii? You got to have certain documents to get those things, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think at that point in time, I don't know if the HIPAA laws was in full effect, but I don't think anyone just can pull up to the Social Security Administration and say, hey, or to where you were born at, health and vital statistics, and say, hey, let me get DJ Music's Social Security, birth certificate. Let me get that. Run that up in me. Let me have that.
Because here you have to show an ID. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you got to have like some other documents and stuff that you have to have. But I mean, come on, man, this is Barack Obama. Like, you go to the Department of Vital Statistics in Hawaii and say, look, I need President Barack Obama's birth certificate. You think they're going to really give it to you?
Right. No, they won't. Legitimately, you won't get it. But as Bridget M just said, the criminals know how to get it. They damn sure do.
No, they know how to fake it.
Yeah, but legitimately, you can't go.
Legitimately,
right?
Yeah, but no, they came up. If Trump had a birth certificate with Barack Obama's name on, I can guarantee you it wasn't real.
It wasn't real, right? Shit, just like that piece of paper you got from Trump University. That shit ain't worth nothing.
Which Obama eventually released. We all remember that. Now, it's interesting. This is still part of the conversation. But yeah, so Donald Trump did not create the lie. Republicans did. Regular Republicans created the lie. Everyday people, conservatives, created the lie. They knew it was a lie. They used that lie to divide the nation. And they did it intentionally. And then when they said, you know what? It's a lie. He's actually American. Trump says, no, he's not. And all of a sudden, because Trump was willing to lie longer than any other Republican about the black male president, he becomes the heir apparent, the champion for white bigots. 2016. When he first ran for president, Trump routinely retweeted white supremacists and neo-Nazis who endorsed him. Following the Unite the Right rally, Charlottesville, Virginia, 2017, in which a counter-protester was killed by a white supremacist who drove his car into a crowd. The president claimed there were, quote, some very fine people and also on both sides, drawing praise for defending the truth according to white nationalist Richard Spencer. This is when it really started to show publicly. He reportedly claimed immigrants who come to the U.S. from Haiti, all have the AIDS virus, HIV.
And remember, All those dark countries, they say were shithole countries. I will check that out there, Black. I love the Defiant Lawyers. I love what they put out, that information over there. Again, another one of those platforms that I follow, folks. And I would suggest, if you care about us as Black people, if you care about the country itself, Black Americans, then I would suggest you go on over and check out that particular stream there, ladies and gentlemen, the Defiant Lawyers. A real lawyer, not a wannabe lawyer.
And warned that Nigerian refugees
Hold on just a second.
would come.
Pause that. Say, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
I just thought about something, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before today or even back then, but if they sent somebody to Hawaii to get Obama's birth certificate and he wasn't born here, wouldn't it be that he didn't have a birth certificate? They would have had to go to Kenya to get it.
They would have had to go into Kenya, yes. Yes.
So for Trump to say that he had Barack Obama's birth certificate, I'm just asking the question.
Well, like Dr. Richie said, it just Trump was, he didn't start the rumor, but he was willing to lie about it longer.
Yeah. I mean, he lied about a lot of stuff, so that don't
a whole lot. Shit. And when Donald Trump opened his mouth, 4 or 5 lies fall out.
You know, I back in his first term, somebody had made a little reel before reels was popular, and they had Donald Trump talking, and all you heard every time Donald Trump opened his mouth, all you heard was lies, 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 lies. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's my point here, folks. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark here, so I'm gonna wind this down here. But again, you can see for yourself that your boy don't like, where you at, said your boy don't like, why do I see both of us? Your boy don't like oh, there we go. There we go. Your boy don't like Black folks. He never has, and he never will. And I say this again, folks, just like your grandma's sweet old recipe for apple pie or whatever that's been passed down from generation to generation, racism is too. Look at the history of Donald Trump. Nothing about him says, oh, I like it. Even Byron Donalds. He said, Byron Donalds, look at, that's one of the good ones right there. We all know one of the good ones. If I was Byron Donalds, I would have went up there and to Shoe Leather Express. But you know what he did? Coward.
Yeah.
Became
put his pants
a
down and got on his knees. That's what happened.
Yes, sir. Sure did. Became a yassa boss because he thought he was going to get something from Donald Trump. And no, Bridget, I promise you, there will not be any Fox lawyers over here. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We won't do that. We'll not do that. But said any closing words before we get out of here?
Well, in light of everything that's going on, and it's a lot, and everybody knew that it was going to be a lot. Like, they knew that chaos was coming when they voted for this man. Now, they voted, some people might have voted for the chaos, but a lot of us didn't. And it's just going to get worse. The way I see it, it's just going to get much worse for everybody.
And I do believe so too, Sid. I think for all concerned, whatever hue of American that you are, the majority of us don't live in that upper echelon of money to where if when you go to the grocery store, that if a carton of eggs costs you $10, you're just gonna walk away from it. Or if a gallon of milk costs you $7, you're not gonna walk away from it, because those folks in the upper echelon folks, money don't mean nothing to them. There's nothing they could go into Walmart and they can't buy. There's nothing they can go into the grocery store and can't buy. So what's happening, what Trump is doing, is not going to affect them. It's going to affect the everyday average person like me and you.
Well, I think eventually down the line, it's going to affect them too, because it's going to affect a lot of people's bottom line. And with the stock market crashing like it's been doing, there have been people with some serious funds lost some serious money in this situation. That's why I'm surprised that, you know, other things ain't went down according to plan, because normally somebody would have been held to the fire for that. But
yeah,
the other thing is that I want to say before you close out
mm-hmm.
is that, you know, I think these farmers is finding out I think a lot of these white folks is finna find out that there's gonna be another form of hate, and it's gonna be called classism, just like you was just mentioning earlier. And
Right.
it's gonna be the rich people, and it's gonna be a few black people in that group. You know what I'm saying? But the vast majority of people that's finna lose wealth. Look at all these people losing their homes. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's finna be affected. Like they losing their homes, they losing their
Yeah.
jobs. Look at all the people that got fired. I think FedEx fired like 1,600 people or something like that.
Right.
the other
That's
day.
me. Right. There's been, since Trump has taken office, there's been millions and millions of people. When I say literally millions of people, folks, that's little stat, that have lost their jobs. Yeah, there's been several. I won't say millions of people, but it's been thousands of people that their life savings got wiped out with this last manufactured thing by Trump. But again, you have these podcasts, these so-called content creators, putting into the idea of their constituents, their people that support them, that Trump is good for the United States of America, and he is not.
He's not. But we're gonna find out, because you know, when you go to other countries, and I'm quite sure you know what I'm talking about, when you go to other countries and you look at the prices of their food and you compare it to the American dollar, how much money they have to spend for little basic stuff compared to
Absolutely.
us spending a couple dollars.
Right.
And like, you know, and they got to come up with 1,000 of their dollars just to make one of ours.
Pesos,
you know what I'm saying?
right. And when I went to the Philippines, of course, I've been to Mexico a few times, but in the Philippines, you know, I forgot what the peso rate to the dollar rate was, but I know one thing: I could go outside the gate with $30 or $20 and come back with plenty of money in my pocket still.
Yeah, and you can live good. Somebody
Live
that's
good
on Social
over
Security,
there.
that's what, like
Right.
a lot of people have done. They go to these other countries, you know, when they retire and they get their Social Security money. Their Social Security money goes a very long way. You have no idea how good people live from having their Social Security funds from here deposited in their bank accounts there. And they can afford rent, they can afford and still have money left over and can still save money. Be surprised.
Yep. And I really wouldn't be, because I know a lot of my folks that I knew throughout the service, once they got out and they got their pension, they moved to the Philippines. I know of folks right now that from my time in the military, that's where they decided to retire to, a country where the cost of living, you know, wasn't like here it is in the United States. A lot of folks have gone off the grid. But in closing, let me just say this, folks. There was a point in time in good old United States history where it was actually white against white. That was called the Civil War. White folks in the North didn't want the white folks in the South to have power. And how was the white folks in the South having power? By having us down here. Okay? Civil War started. Cousin against cousin. White against white. They still celebrate. They still have Civil War reenactments. Donald Trump keeps up. The next time, you won't have to reenact, because y'all get mad at each other quicker than we get mad at you. White folks get mad at each other. Here's a prime example of it: Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Y'all get mad at each other quicker than we do. We are the most forgiving people on this planet, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether that's to a detriment or not. But they get mad at each other quicker. So if you go back and look at the history of the Civil War and look at some of the stories, they hated their own brothers, their own cousins, if you lived below what they so-called the Mason-Dixon line. And it's the same thing happening over again here with this Donald Trump regime. White folks is tired. And unfortunately, y'all thought this wasn't going to affect you, what Donald Trump was doing. And you're seeing that it is. The Latinos was first. The black folks will be next. When it's all said and done, you poor white folks are going to feel Donald Trump's wrath.
Oh, they're going to feel it regardless. They're going to feel it regardless,
sure they
because like we know, they are the vast majority of the people that get all the social benefits.
You know, but that goes without saying. But if you say that in some of these platforms, that's a lie. That's a lie, and I still can't get over that. That someone put it. I forgot who was it. Who was that? That was you, H.T. Paul, when it said. When people ask me why do I speak up? If I don't, who will? Folks like H.T. Ball 1 don't speak up. Who will? If folks like Blackhawk don't speak up, Bridget, them, all the folks that are here, if we don't speak up, who will? They are the mouthpieces. Did I broke up again?
No, you good.
Okay. But with that, folks, we're going to get on up out of here. I'm live on air a little bit later on at the Music Cafe. And tonight, we'll kick things off with Denise Gray. We'll do an interview for us. I'm sure a lot of folks you see when I do my advertisements, I always say Denise Gray, the Music Cafe, or the Smooth Jazz and Indie Show. So we're going to be actually talking to one of the founders of these particular shows. Folks, tune in about 8 o'clock. That's when it kick off. And then we'll go to a regular segment from there. Until then, y'all folks be safe out there. Watch your 3, your 6. Goodbye to the folks for me.
Look, all you motherfuckers been snitching for him and shit. Now you standing up in here, goddamn it, talking about preach it, preacher. Fuck that nigga. Fuck that. I'm gonna shoot your ass too, motherfucker. Keep on. You gonna get shot too, nigga. You gonna get shot. God bless the fool, goddamn it. God bless the fool. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We're taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Yeah. Y'all know the motherfucker ain't no good. You want, look,